Good evening, peeps. The wait is finally over, and the Superposition Bhilai Chapter is going forward to conduct its first ever event. Let me take a few minutes of our audience to introduce what Superposition is. Superposition Bhilai Chapter, recently founded by Ms Khushi Gupta, co-founder Dr Siddharth Choubey sir at Shri Shankracharya Technical Campus, having its headquarters at San Francisco, California, and one of the non-profit organizations which aims at bridging the gender gap in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that is STEM, and it which empowers women in our society and helps them to encourage their passions. Leadership is not just a quality. It's or not just about scaling a mountain. It's more about reshaping it in our own ways, says Ms. Khushi Gupta. She is the founder of the Superposition Bhilai chapter. It couldn't have been possible without her proper guidations and constant efforts to establish the organizations. Unfortunately, she is unable to attend this meeting due to some unexpected enemies. So, finally, let us now begin our session and greet our great speaker, Mr. Kushal Vijay. Keeping its more in mind, the Superposition plan to organize an event on software development, which is to be led by Mr. Kushal Vijay, a software engineer at Microsoft and an ACM ICPC'19 regionalist. So, sir, please start the sessions and share your knowledge and vast experiences with the audience on software development. Please, sir.
Sure. First of all, thank you all of you for this warm welcome. We'll be talking about a lot of things. I don't know how many people are there on this live session. I'll be presenting my presentation, and before that, before we start, if you have any questions, I'll be speaking about a lot of things during the session. First of all, if let me know how should I speak during the session. If you want me to speak in Hindi, I can speak in Hindi. If you want me to speak in English, I can speak in English. In whichever language you folks are comfortable, I'll be speaking in that. So in the meantime, I'll be opening my presentation. You can comment down which particular in the chat, which particular language you want me to speak in. Okay, I want some comments, just that, so that I can get the idea that people are watching us. My presentation is with me. Voice glitch. Okay, Rupal is saying voice glitch. Is my audio not clear? Can anybody confirm from the team if my audio is not clear or if there is any glitch in both the languages? Okay, Gagan. Gagan is comfortable with both the languages. I want some votes for a particular language. Okay. We are waiting for you folks. If you're watching this, comment down which particular language you want, in which particular language you are more comfortable or feel connected, and we'll continue with that only. Okay, I cannot see much of the comments. Okay, let's continue in English only then. Let me start presenting my screen. Okay. Can anyone confirm if my screen is visible to everyone and my presentation is visible to everyone? We are comfortable with the languages. Monica, that is great if you're comfortable. If anybody can confirm if my screen is visible to everyone, because I cannot see the chat. Okay, I guess it is visible, so we can get started. Okay. So today we'll be talking about everything about software engineering, how you can get a job in software engineering, what is software engineering, what a software engineer do on their day-to-day basis, and then we are going to talk about a few things that are very necessary for a software engineer, or very necessary for you as a college student, but you are not aware of them. So, though that is the most important part of this particular session, where I'll be talking about two, three things, or four, five things which are really important for you, but you are not aware of it, and I can bet on it, right? So that is the most important part, and I highly recommend everyone to stay up till that time, and we will get started with a small introduction of mine. But okay, visible sir, sub visible. Okay, all good. Let's move on to our, you know, obviously the most important thing: who I am, who is Kushal Vijay, and why I am sharing, why I am taking this session. By the way, so basically, you either some of you might know me already because of my YouTube channel, or because of my LinkedIn content, because I frequently share content on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well, related to opportunities, related to interview experiences, and so and so forth stuff, right? So we have a huge family of more than 28,000 students on our YouTube, and I'm also a software engineer at Microsoft. Previously, I've done internships at a startup called Stack Guardian, and also an internship at Microsoft. And I'm also, like, previously I have an experience in freelancing as well. So today I'll be talking about a lot of the things based on my experience from freelancing, from software engineering, from content creation, that will help you in your career ahead. Because I believe most of you are, I guess all of you are from college only, right? So whatever I'll be talking today is going to help you. And if you have any doubts, you can reach me out on any of the social handles: YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, or anywhere except for WhatsApp, because I won't be giving you any of you my number, right? Okay, first thing, myths. This is the most interesting part of the presentation. I'll be talking about the myths of software engineering, then how you can land your your dream job. Then I'll be talking about how you can get opportunities of software engineering. Then finally we'll be talking about the most most interesting section, which is things that are very important to you but you are not aware of. So, myths about software engineering. So, when I was in my college, I had this doubt that software engineers code day in and day out. Like from morning to evening, they just go to their office and code day in and day out, nothing else. But in reality, the thing is, in your software engineering job, coding is the least time consuming thing. You don't act of the day, basically. you know you are more involved in sharing your thought process. You're more involved in brainstorming upon ideas, deciding the design and everything, or sharing the idea, sharing your thought process, making design documentation and everything. And coding is the least part, because when you work in a software industry, you don't actually work on standalone projects from end to end. You basically work on already built projects which are used by customers, and you basically fix or add new features onto them. So they don't even require you to uh, you know add thousands of lines of code. But as adding a new feature to a particular product does not require adding thousands of lines of code, but it's a small snippet. But the whole process required to add that feature takes a lot of time. That is meetings, that is brainstorming, that is sharing thought processes, making decisions. So that is a basically a division of things that a software engineer do on day-to-day basis, and coding is one of the least time consuming part of a software engineer's day. The second thing that students have this in mind, that DSA being is important for a software engineer, or because we, as a college student, we actually devote most of our time in learning and solving DSA problems. Somebody solving 1,000 problems on lead code, someone is solving 800 problems on GFG. We spend a lot of time solving DSA problems. So why we are actually doing that when there is no use of DSA in your software engineering job? That's true. I'm not going to use longest palindromic subsequence in my day-to-day job. It's not useful for me. I'm not going to code it anywhere in the project, right? So why we are actually learning it? The reason behind that is problem solving. Companies need problem solvers. They judge based on your problem solving skills. And DSA is something which actually builds your problem solving skills. And that's why DSA is being used by big companies to judge or hire candidates. And that is the sole purpose of devoting your time, a lot of your time to DSA, not to get better at software engineering, but to get a good job in software engineering. Right now, moving on to another important subject, which is CP or mathematics. So, are these topics or are these subjects being used in software engineering job? The clear cut answer to it is no. There you'll never find a problem related to what you solve in code forces or top coder or code chef. You'll never find something like that in your software engineering job, but the complexity of problems that you'll find in a software engineering project is similar to what you do in computer programming. So that's why companies actually give preference to those who are very much involved in CP, because their problem solving skills or their logical ability, that their thinking ability is very high, and that is what required to solve the real world problems that software engineers solve on day to day basis. Another question that I mostly get from students is there any particular language that you can follow to get into a company? Not in today's era, companies are so diversified. They are actually consuming, like if I talk about Microsoft, there are more than 175,000 employees working around the globe, and the number of products is enormous. Now, thinking about a single particular language or learning a particular language to get a job into a company should not be your approach, basically, because companies are actually, even in my team, we are working with multiple languages. So there is, companies are not restricted to a particular language, and you should also not restrict yourself to learning a language to get a job, right? Because companies are so diversified, so huge, that if you are good at Python, you'll somewhere find a job, or someone somewhere find a role in that particular company that consumes Python in their day-to-day work, right? So don't go for a particular language. Go for skill development, or yeah, your skill development in a particular domain, because that is going to help you in your development job. Now, if one last myth that students have was, I have already discussed about it, that our software engineers work on new projects whenever they enter the industry, or all the time they work on new projects? No, not at all. We actually work on bugs, adding new features, or removing some features, upgrading features. It's very less, a software engineer actually devotes very less amount of time in building things from scratch, because that's a huge process in itself. It's a huge task in itself, and that requires a lot of efforts and a time of years to basically design a new product. And big companies generally don't do that thing, or don't put new engineers onto a new product, right? So this is about the myths of software engineering that are there. Now, moving on to our second most important topic, which is how you can get your software engineering job, or what things are required to get you your dream job. Now, I divide this thing into five pillars. So if there are any questions in between, um, please let me know, or the host can speak out in between, or we can take them later at the end of the session. Now, I divide this particular thing into five pillars. How you can get your dream job. That is basics, essentials, development, core, and catalyst. Now, what are basics? You need to have basic understanding of a programming language that follows object-oriented programming paradigm. For example, C++, for example, Java. These are the basics. You need to have this in order to get your dream job. Moving on to the essentials, that is data structures and algorithm. If you're not good at it, companies won't consider you, or good companies specifically won't consider you, because that is the most important skill that companies want in their in their candidates. So you need to have deep understanding of data structures and algorithms to get a job, right? Third is the development thing. Now students mostly ask me, Kushal sir or Kushal bhaiya, हम कौन सी field choose करें? Which particular field to choose? There are so many options: Android development, web development, machine learning, or NLP, deep learning, blockchain as well. So there are so many fields. Which particular field to choose? The correct answer is there is no specific field that can get you a job in a company, and you can choose any of the field to get a good job in any of the companies. Because student have this doubt that web development is going to over, or the scope is no more, it's going to be dead after a few years. That's a, I mean, who is sharing this kind of information or rumors to you? It's not going to end any far, anytime soon. It's going to stay. So don't worry about which particular field you choose. Whatever you choose, just build some crazy projects in that and get some great understanding of that thing, so that you can answer the questions in an interview, right? So development is the third thing. Fourth is CS fundamentals. Now, when you actually work in a software industry, databases, operating system, system design, computer networks, object-oriented programming, these are the things which are actually being used. The concepts are used, the terminologies are used, and that's why companies do ask in interviews. Now, some companies don't ask. Like when it comes to Google, they don't ask uh, CS fundamentals. But when it comes to Amazon or Microsoft, they do ask, questions from these topics. So you need to be prepared for such core subjects as well. Now comes the catalyst. Now, what is a catalyst? We all have studied in the chemical reaction. In order to accelerate the chemical reaction from reactants to products, we use a catalyst. Now, here the reactants is you, and product is getting a job. Now, a catalyst can accelerate the process of getting a job. That is, you can do CP, you can contribute to open source, you can participate in hackathons, and these activities are going to help you to get your job faster and get a good job actually, very quickly. So if you are into these, you're doing great. If you're not, you can get started. It's not never too late, and you should start as early as possible. Right. So these are the five pillars that I shared, that I believe with everyone. If you follow these, you can get, you know, your dream job very quickly. So these are the five pillars. I hope you folks liked it. Now, moving on to our next topic, that is how to actually get opportunities. भैया आपने बता तो दिया कि करना क्या है जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज के लिए, बट जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज ढूंढे कहाँ पर? So that is the most important concern or most common doubt students have, like where to find job opportunities. Now, you might have realized this thing with time, that when if you apply over career site or career portal of any company, you either get a rejection mail directly, or you don't even get a reply, and your application is just, thrown away. So you might have realized this, or you, if you are good at applying, or if you're very frequently apply to job opportunities, you might have realized this already. Now, what are the other ways to get job opportunities? First thing, the most important platform that you need to be active at is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform where you can network with people, get job opportunities, and you can actually grow your career or give your career a direction. It's a great platform. I've been active at LinkedIn since a long time now, and I got to network with so many amazing people from there. I got connected with so many amazing people that helped me in my career as well, right? So LinkedIn is a place where you can find job opportunities. Now, how you can find job opportunities? There is a jobs tab there, where you can find, there is a continuous job opportunity listing. You can set alerts there of whatever experience you want, whatever experience or package or anything, or any sort of particular position. For a particular position, if you want job alerts, then you can set there. So jobs tab is one thing. Second is reaching out to people, reaching out to directors, engineering directors, principal engineers, or recruiters directly. You can reach out to them over LinkedIn and ask if there are any job opportunities in their firm. Now, when it comes to big companies, re- a response from directors or engineering managers is very rare. But when it comes to startups or small scale companies, they do reply. Now, the probability of getting a reply is very less. But if you are clever enough, or if you're wise enough whom to actually message or whom to ask for such favor, you might increase your probability of getting the reply. Now, in order to basically, so there are two things to get a good job. First is getting the interview. Second is you know, first is cracking the interview, and the second is getting that interview call. Now, in order to get that interview call, you can ask for referrals, right? So, referral is something which actually adds an edge over your application. Now, how to get a referral? Now, we'll be talking about this thing by the end of the session. We'll not be talking about referral and everything. We are mostly concentrating upon how to get opportunities. So, first is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best platform to get job opportunities and network with people, and you can get enormous opportunities there. If you're not active there, start getting active. Now, how to be active on LinkedIn, we'll be talking about it later in this session, so do wait for the end of it. Now, second thing, hiring challenges. So there are so many platforms across the internet, like Hacker Earth or Dare to Compete, or Hacker Rank, and so many platforms are there over which companies actually host competition for hiring. Like, for example, Walmart have their challenge. I actually made a complete video on it where I've talked about, I guess, 20 companies who have their hiring challenges across the year, and I have shared the timelines and everything, how they hire and everything, so you can check that out as well. So these are the hiring challenges with which companies hire. Students mostly miss these opportunities because who will go to such platforms on daily basis and check if there are any ongoing contest or not? Nobody has the time, right? So what you can do, you can follow different YouTube channels, or you can join Telegram groups. There are so many Telegram groups, mine also, where people share job opportunities. So that is something you can join and be aware of whatever updates are coming in the software job industry for the freshers or for the college students. That is really important. And if you're missing out from those, you're actually missing out from some great opportunity if you're not a part of such groups or if you're not following such channels. So this is the third thing. Fourth thing is cold emailing. If you have the email ID of recruiters or engineering managers, or if you know then you can directly mail them or ask them, this is my resume, these are my important achievements or skills. Are there any openings in your company, or are there any opportunities in your company with my year of experience, or for a fresher, or for an internship opportunity? So this is how. Now there is a very rare chance that they'll even reply, but there is no harm in trying. Now, fifth and the final thing is apply as much as you can. Now, all the students who are listening to this, or who are going to listen to this particular podcast or particular session, it's my advice to you, from the day onwards you listen to this, apply in at least 5 opportunities on daily basis, and I can bet after 30 days, if you're not even getting test links, or if you're not getting any interview calls before this day, after 1 month you'll see the difference. You will get job opportunity, interview opportunities or testing. You will start getting them. Just follow this advice of applying to at least 5 companies every day. With referral, without referral, doesn't matter. You should start applying. That is the key. And the problem is, students actually apply with the same resume everywhere, and expect for their resume to get shortlisted. Now, things don't work like that. You cannot expect for your resume to be shortlisted everywhere if you apply for with the same resume. You need to modify your resume with the job description of every particular job, because whenever you submit your resume, it does not go directly to the recruiter or hiring manager. It goes through a ATS scanner. Now, ATS scanner actually runs on the job description and your resume and then matches it. Now, what the algorithm it follows, I don't know, but there are so many resume checkers on the internet that you can use. I've already made a video on it. You can check that as well. And if the resume score is good, that's when it gets forwarded to the recruiter. So make sure you modify your resume according to the job description every time you apply to a job opportunity, right? So this is one thing. Now, these are the ways actually you can uh, get a job opportunity in the software industry. Moving ahead, things you are not okay. Let me check quickly that I have covered. Okay, I've covered everything. Things you are not aware of but are important. I'll be talking about a lot of the things which you should know. You should be doing that, but you might not be doing it, and that are very very important. First thing is, we actually student most of the students are not aware how the referral system actually works. Now, what happens is how the referral system actually works. I'll tell you. Whenever you see a job opening, how to first of all let's understand how to ask for a referral. Whenever you see a job opening for a particular company, go to LinkedIn, search for at least 25 employees, send a connection request, adding a note to it. Don't just directly send a connection request and expect the person to accept it or respond to your messages moving forward. On upfront you should add a note to your request. In the note, add that this is a job opening, this is my resume, these are my skills, I'm thinking to apply to it. Are you comfortable in giving me a referral? Just simply ask them directly what is your purpose of connecting with them. If they are comfortable, they will refer you. If they are not comfortable, either they'll not reply or either they'll say they are not going to refer you. And that's completely okay. You should not argue with that person. You should respect their decision and move forward to the next person. And this is how the things work. That's why I mentioned you should connect with at least 25 to 30 people in order to get the referral. Now, this is how you can ask for a referral. Now, how the referral system works: whenever you see a job opening, you ask for a referral from a person. If they refers you, you get a mail for a unique link, a unique apply link for their job application. So, student had this confusion in mind: should we ask for a referral and apply on the career portal? No, you need to wait for the person to refer you. Once they refer you, you get a mail on your mailbox with a unique apply link. You have to apply with that apply link only. Then only your referral is counted. And this is how the referral system works. Now, why would somebody refer you? Because whenever a person refers you, they get a reward. If I refer someone in my company and the person gets hired, I get a good amount of money for that. So why would I not refer someone? I will definitely check if the person has the skill, because irrelevant, referring too many people is useless, because that makes no sense, right? So that's why people actually go through the resume. So that's why it's very important to share the resume link. That is also important. Don't share a resume PDF in the LinkedIn message. Share a resume link, because why would I waste my storage downloading your resume PDF? Instead, I should use the link now. So that is the reason you should add a link and also share the job ID or job link as well. Because why would someone search a job ID for you? You want a referral, so you should share all the information that is required for the person to refer you. Understood? So this is how the referral thing works. Now, another doubt the students have in mind is CP. Is CP actually required to clear interviews or to basically get a good job? The clear cut answer is no. You can get amazing job opportunities in amazing companies with a great pay without doing a bit of CP. I have done CP personally, so I would recommend everyone to do it in the initial years of engineering, because then you have a lot of time to explore a lot of things, and it will help you to develop your logical ability, thinking ability, and problem solving. And that is what helps you in your career as well, not with respect to your first job or second job, but in your career. But if you are at a point where you don't have much time and you are confused whether you should do CP or not, don't do it. Just focus on lead code or anything, any particular platform that you follow, and you know, done with all the DSA topics, do all the DS topics, get command over them, and you're good to go. Okay. Third thing, competitions. Students are very much afraid of giving competitions. Competition is the way to get you out of your comfort zone. And because interviews or hiring processes are actually things which are not in your comfort zone but out of your comfort zone, and competitions are actually helpful to make you ready for them. They help you examine where you actually lie. You can solve thousands of problems, assuming that you are perfect, and when you enter a contest you perform below average. Now this is the actual reality check uh, what you're doing or how your practice is going on. So you should participate in all the contests that are happening, whether on lead code, whether on geek for geeks, whether on code forces if you're doing cp or code chef. But you should participate in contests. It is very important. And upsolve the questions. If you're not able to solve a problem after the competition, when the solutions are released, then check the solution and then answer, or check the answers for how they solved. It will help you improve your problem solving skills. Right. Now, another important thing which students mostly miss, that is communication. Now, as an engineer, we are very less involved in public speaking activities. There are not all the students are involved in literature related clubs or such kind of societies. But communication skills are really really important when it comes to interviews or when it comes to talking to people, because it actually gives some impression about you. When it comes to interviews, it's highly recommended to speak in English. And because obviously to maintain professionalism, it is expected from the student to speak in English and to have great communication skills, because it actually adds it adds cherry on the top of your ice cream, right? So communication skills are very important. And how you can improve upon it: you can write things, you can read things, you can talk to a lot of people, join community spaces like Twitter spaces or Instagram lives, where people actually allow you to get live and talk to them. Why I ask everyone to tell me whether I should speak in Hindi or English? Because not everyone is comfortable in English, or not everyone is comfortable in Hindi. But the majority, if they want me to speak in Hindi, it actually creates a connection. But irrespective of that fact, I would recommend everyone to learn or to practice communication skills or try to improve upon them, because it's going to help you in your career, throughout your life. So this is, I guess I have covered this also. One more thing that I wanted to cover in this topic, which is personal finance. Now, college students, we are science math students from our school days, and then we jumped on to engineering. We are never taught about personal finance, income tax, or stock market or anything like that. But we should know about it. If you're a college student and have some interest in finance, if you're not, or if you don't have any interest, build that interest, because I'm telling you, it's going to solve a hell lot of problems when you enter the corporate. And that's a genuine advice. I was a bit into it, but now I learned a lot. With time, it is going to help you a lot. And I regret, when I was in college, I didn't give much respect to this thing. But now I am regretting that I should have given. I would have, I wouldn't have wasted so much time learning the concepts, after entering the corporate. So if you have time, make sure you learn about the stock market, personal finance, income tax and everything. It will help you. It's going to help you a lot. So these are so we have already done with 36 minutes. We have, I mean, a good amount of time. So these are some of the things that I wanted to cover for this presentation. Now we come to the end, where I just wanted to thank you all. And if you have any doubts, you can ask her, or you can connect with me over LinkedIn, over Instagram, over Twitter, or Telegram group, or YouTube as well. Even if you comment on my YouTube, I'll reply to that. I reply to almost every question that I get. So you can connect me there as well. Okay, so I guess we are good. I'm not sure if I speak too fast, but yeah, that's all from my side. We are comfortable. Okay, now I want a lot of questions from you folks. I will be waiting till, okay, it's 6-7, right? We'll wait till 6:15 if there'll be any questions. else we'll end the session. So, folks, either give me some feedback or give me some questions so that I can explain. You can ask literally anything that you have in your mind. I will try to explain it in the easiest manner I can. Okay, waiting for it. And I would request the organizers to please come online so that at least I can have someone to. Thanks, Kagan. Sir, you said about CP. I wanted to ask you that people tell awesome session. Can someone basically highlight that comment on the screen so that all the students who are watching it can also see it? Yeah. Sir, you said about CP. I wanted to ask you that will you please tell what is CP? Okay, very good question. I thought everyone would have been would be aware of it, but no worries. So CP is competitive programming. Now, what is competitive programming? Competitive programming is a sport where you get interesting, complex, logical, mathematical problems where you have some time duration and you have to solve those problems with your programming skills. It's a programming sport. It has no direct relation with your interviews, with your job, but it will help you. So I'll give you an example. When you study for JEE, right, IIT JEE or IIT Advance, IIT JEE Advance, NCRT questions are cakewalk for you, right? Very easy for you. Similarly, when you do CP, when you become good at it, um, DSA questions or standard problems are like cakewalk, very easy for you. This is the comparison I can give for CP. That is competitive programming. Okay, I'm waiting for more questions. Please, folks. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Aryan. Thank you, Gagan. Folks, let's get some questions done. It's only 40 minutes past. So we still have 20 minutes if you'll ask me the question. Else, I'll. Okay, there is another question from Siddharth. Let's highlight it first. Let's put it on the screen. Yeah. If we didn't had internship experience, but good one-to web dev projects and good knowledge of problem solving skills, is it good to affect? Is going to. So first of all, if you have an internship, if you don't have an internship, that doesn't even matter if you will get a good job or not. You can get a good job with even if you have an internship. If you even if you don't have an internship, internship basically adds to, it's an added advantage to your resume, and you have something to talk about in an interview. Now, as you also mentioned, you have something compensating that fact that you have one or two web dev projects in your resume. Now, just to give you an advice, for example, if you have still time before the interviews or before companies visit your campus, what you can do is either go for internship at startups. That is on angellist.com. You can search for a lot of internships in amazing startups in India or outside India. So that is one thing. You can find some good internship before your on-campus placements or off-campus placements. Secondly, if you're not getting internship from there as well, you can go for research work under your faculty. Just ask your professors, I want to do research work under you. You can give me certification, and I can add that into my resume. Second thing is that. Third thing is unpaid internship. Now, I don't personally prefer anyone to go for unpaid internship, but if you don't have any chance, you should go for it if you want to add any experience, and that too, go for such unpaid internship which are actually genuine, which are not exploiting you, and actually helping you to grow and learn. Right. So this is one thing. Fourth thing is you can do courses. You can invest your time in learning new things and building some great projects that will compensate your gap of not having an internship in your resume. So these are my points. Okay, Aryan. Okay, I guess Siddharth, I have answered your question. Next question is, it's really an interesting seminar. Thank you, Aryan, for that. I would love to know, how do you manage your time for machine learning? Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. My strategy when I entered my college, I started CP in my second semester. I didn't start with DSA. I started with CP first. I did CP for a year. In my summers, I started with DSA, and I did DSA and CP together for around, like, I did CP for 1 year. I started in my second semester. After my first year ended, in the summer I learned C++ because earlier I used to do in Python, and I also learned about the basic of data structures and algorithms. Then I continued learning data structures and algorithm and doing and giving competitions for CP. This is the thing I followed till by the end of third semesters. Third semester. Then I started development. I started with web development. I continued doing CP for some time, then devoted a lot of my time to web development and DSA only. Built some cool projects, participated in hackathons, and that actually helped me building some projects as well, learning new skills. I actually started learning web development just because I wanted to participate in a hackathon. सो मजबूरी मेरे लिए एक वो बन गई, वो कहते हैं ना, आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी होती है, तो हैकाथन एक्चुअली मोटिवेटेड मी टू लर्न वेब डेवलपमेंट. So that is one thing. I actually I had this strategy in mind. I will give 6 months to every skill, every new skill I want to learn. So I gave six months to DSA, 6 months to web development. Then after second year, when I got the internship, I decided to give 6 months to natural language processing along with DSA. Then in the later semester, I started freelancing in web development and NLP. So that actually sharpened my skills further. And later, then there was my internship. So I later get a full time offer. Then I enrolled in a new domain of YouTube content creation. I jumped onto that. I left NLP or web development, but I kept freelancing with me in web development. Then I joined my full time job. So what my advice to you is, how to manage things is, give a small duration of time to that activity. In the in some time you'll realize either you are enjoying it or you are wasting time in it, and that is the moment either you should switch or continue with it. But thank you so much, sir. It is a great learning from you. Can you just drop some tips getting into Microsoft? Okay, I have already made a 45 days crack Microsoft placement video on my channel, but I quickly summarize some important points that you required for specifically for Microsoft. So Microsoft is very organized in when it comes to interviews. The interviews are taken by very experienced folks, so you cannot fool them first of all. Like for other companies, I don't want to name them because they actually allow freshers to take interviews. Now that's a foolish thing, I believe. But when it comes to Microsoft, they actually, your interviews will be taken by 7, 8 years of experience people, and you cannot fool them. They might ask you an easy question, but the answer they expect, the way they want you to answer, is something which is of quality. Second thing, system design. Microsoft is in love with system design. Whether you are a second year student looking for an internship, third year student, final year student, or a fresher, or a 1 year experience, 2 year, 3 year, 8 years experience, they will come to a point, directly or indirectly, they will ask you a system design question because they love it. They literally love it. And it doesn't matter whether you are looking for a software engineering role or consultant role, they will come to a point where they'll convert a question in the form that it feels like a design question. So that's really important. If you are not aware of design concepts, system design, how the architecture works, you should go through the basics. Third thing is, this is a generic tip for any company, that you should learn about the company before sitting in their interviews. What their business idea, business vision, what they are trying to do, what their products are, and everything. Okay, so this is one thing, and yeah, that's all actually. And in order to get Job at Microsoft, there are two programs that happen every year: Engage for interns, Engage for full time, for second year and the third year students. So don't miss out. For second year students is already over. They have selected a lot of students this time, more than 3,000. For full time, it will happen in October, so make sure you don't miss it. How to cover core subjects in faster way? Great question, actually, Siddharth. I have covered this as well. I have covered this question: how to prepare for OSDBMS, object-oriented programming, computer networks, if you have an interview in a week or 3 days. Now, believe me, when it comes to an interview, they are not going to ask you the complete theory of any subject. Want they will ask you the top 50 interview. They will ask you from that bunch of top 50 interview questions. You just have to go to YouTube, look for top 50 interview questions of DBMS. You're done. You're literally done. Most of the question that will be asked, because okay, one thing you should be clear here: you have already done DBMS earlier. You're sorted with everything. You have already learned that subject earlier. Now you just want to prepare for interviews. Then only you can go for 50 top 50 interview questions. If you have never studied DBMS, there is no point in going through the top 50 interview questions, because you'll not understand anything, right? So I hope I was able to clear this point. Okay, start. मैं थक गया यार बोलते बोलते. Okay, Tokir ka Tokir. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name clearly. So sorry for that. I'll be speaking Khan. Khan is a good name. So Khan, startups these days are paying well enough to web developers. Your views on this? Startups actually pay very well, irrespective of the domain they want. They will be hiring you, whether on Android development, whether web development, whether blockchain development, because obviously they have a lot of funding. They don't provide stocks, they don't have IPO, they don't have equity kind of thing. If they even provide RSUs, they are not vested, or they are not sellable. So most of the section portion of their CTC is base only. And when it comes to big techs, the bigger portion of their CTC is stocks, right? So irrespective of the fact, startups pay well. Irrespective of the fact which domain you are applying to, startups pay very well. And web development is a great field actually to get a good job very quickly. I feel we are good. It's already 50 minutes and my throat is already choked now. I mean, if we'll wait for 5 minutes, and then we'll uh, do a hard stop to this session. 4 minutes now. Subscribe to your channel. Thank you, Siddharth. Sir, your YouTube channel, can you please add a link in the chat? I can add, or somebody from the from the team can add it, or everyone who's watching it, just search for Kushal Vijay. You'll find me. Just search for it. You'll find me on YouTube. Thanks a lot, folks, for attending the session. I hope I was able to add some value to your lives. I hope I thank you for adding. If someone tends to get into FANG, Aaron, please complete your question. So I really, I'm really happy, and thanks to all of you who attended today's session. I hope I was able to add some value, and this particular 1 hour or 50 minutes were not a waste of your time. Right? And you can connect with me anytime. You can ask. Okay, Taukir, subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Means a lot. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, Superposition Bhilai. Uh, Thank you, Khushi. Thank you. I don't remember the other person's name, but thanks for inviting me. And yeah,
So, hi Kushal.
hi. Yeah.
Thank you for joining, Kushal. It was great having you with us. Thank you for inspiring our student community with your personality and with your work, giving your valuable time to these folks. I'm also happy to catch up for the next time with some more opportunities and more learning. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, folks. Bye bye. Take care.